Hello everyone, this is Andrew the Moo, and today we are in grave danger as we play Chapter 4 of Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge. And this is a game of backtracking, and we're going to have to play through the last level that we just finished. Why? Here's why.
Thank you. That's much better. Without my hanging men, I'm not much of a hanging tree.
It seems those monsters are attacking from the fallen tombstones. I've got to put the tombstones back together and seal those monsters in.
That's why, and that's the name of the game this round. Remember those tombstones I said we can't do anything with yet? We can do it now. First one's over here just to the left. You want to tap the triangle button to hook onto it with the soul robber, then just tap it, tap it, tap it, tap it, and pull it up. And every time you do that, you're going to have to deal with a number of skeletons. And this is one of those moments where, yeah, we're going to be saying, okay, now we get to fight more skeletons, and we get to fight more skeletons. So that's what we're going to end up doing. We get to fight more skeletons. But at this point, if I remember correctly, I had upgraded the soul robber already. And you'll notice that the soul robber is a bit stronger in its attack. Also, it has longer reach. The next tombstone is right over here, and the reason why I go ahead and point that out is because this one is easy to miss. In fact, in the test run of this, I absolutely made the mistake of not looking over here, and I spent the longest time like, all right, hanging tree, why can't I finish this level? Because I missed the one that was over there. So be sure you get it. You don't want to miss it. There are 4 tombstones over in this area that we want to pull up. But as you can see, the soul robber, like I said, it's a whole lot longer and it's a whole lot stronger than it was. And you're going to want to make good use of it. And I have not quite gotten fully used to taunting enemies yet. But I'm learning and I'm trying. And so now we're going to head south from here to the 3rd tombstone. And at this tombstone, we get to find a brand new enemy. But he's a whole lot scarier to look at than he is to fight. Look at that big joker. Big old Cyclops skeleton with a club in his hand. You can throw the enemies into him. But when you watch him roar like that, get out of the way because look at his reach. But after you hit him with a few strikes, he'll drop his club. And that's one of the nice things about him. Even though he'll pick up one a few moments later, you can use that club to take him out. Look how easily I took him out. So that's one of those reasons you ought not be afraid of this guy. He will, he's kind of a pushover, especially once you have the next soul robber upgrade. There you see the hanging tree. He's reappearing back to us, and that's what Mr. Hyde said in the last episode, that they'll disappear whenever their enemies are around, but once the enemies are gone, they will reappear. And look, it's the useless gargoyles again. I guarantee you, at some point in this game, I'm finding a room that's going to be filled with them, and I'm going to completely die because I'm smart-mouthing them. But here we are at the 4th tomb, the 4th gravestone, rather, not tombstone. Well, actually, that is a tombstone. I'm sorry, gravestone, tombstone, same thing, really. And it's kind of rinse, lather, repeat at this moment. You're dealing with the giant skeletons and the small skeletons. One of the nice things about that club, though, is you can throw it, or as you can see, you can use the soul robber to slam it down on enemies. And look how quickly it takes out the giant Cyclops. Even the one enemy that was right over there, it knocked it back out of the way, and so you can use that to your advantage. As I still not quite used to using the taunt feature. Those clubs are going to be real great, and you should use those to your advantage. And again, I am not very good at the taunt feature just yet. But I'm trying my best, and I guess that counts for something. Right? Right? And now that we've got the 4 tombstones, we want to head to the next part of the graveyard, where we will fight against more skeletons, more or less. But at least I'm saying skeletons now instead of skeletons. You know, while we've got kind of reprieve. By the way, the next tombstone is right over here as you cross the bridge. But while I've got kind of a break here and we're kind of doing the same thing, one thing I want to mention right now is I kind of felt some disappointment today. First time in a long time that I've ever wanted to really dress up for Halloween, and I went and I ordered the costume, and I I guess the best way to put this is I've lost a little bit of weight in the past few years. By the way, look at the reach on the soul robber here. I'm getting 3 guys at once. So, I mean, as soon as you can get it upgraded, you want to upgrade it. As I was mentioning, though, I've lost a little bit of weight in the past few years, and I'm still used to buying a certain size, and so when I ordered the costumes, I ordered it a little bit too big, and so now I've got to return it and get a smaller one in the next few days, hoping that it will be the proper size. But hey, you know, if I'm able to get this to fit right, then I will do what I was hoping to do, and that is dress as Captain America this year. And as you can see, his attack range with that weapon is kind of tough. It's going to take some damage out of you. And if you're hit while you're holding that, of course, it's going to knock it out of your hand. But, you know, this area is not too terribly difficult as long as you don't do like I did. And that's get beat up. But you can use the skeletons to your advantage. Use them to beat up the enemies that are around you. And don't do like I did and just get absolutely beat up like that. And with that, we want to head on to the next one. And that's going to be over here on this side of the ditch. Swing on over, and you still can't enter into that area just yet. But there's your tombstone, and if you're fast enough, you can get to it without having to fight any enemies. But there's only 2 over here, so there's nothing to really worry about. Still don't have the taunt feature down yet. There we go. But if you're able to get there fast enough, you're able to get the tombstone up without having to worry about anything. But if not, there's only 2 of them. They're not too terribly difficult to beat. And then you can just run over there and set it back up. And so, as I said, kind of repetition here. That's all that we're doing in this level. And I've got to be, yeah, if you're not careful, we'll fall back down. I got to be honest with you, this is probably one of my least favorite missions in the game so far because of the absolute repetition and the fact that instead of moving on to at least somewhat of a different area, we're kind of still stuck in the same old space. But we are nearing the last of the tombstones. Pull this one up and, yeah, beat these guys up. At this point, I believe if you wanted to, you could easily just leave the area and just run for dear life and not even worry about fighting any of the skeletons that are out here. Because, I mean, let's think about it. You've already got the tombstone up. There's nothing else that you've got to worry about. So, you know, I take the time to fight them, but you should be able to just run away from these guys if you're in a position to. That way you can hopefully get a good time on the, you know, on the nightmare ranking. Because if you do take too much time on a level, that is going to come back to haunt you. You saw where the mission before, I think I spent like 20-something minutes on it because I didn't know what I was doing, and it gave me a D rank. So I mean, if you want the coins and all that, go for it. If you don't care about the nightmare ranking, fight them. But you could just quite easily skip them at this moment because now we've got to do some backtracking. And let's see if I get burnt up this time, ladies and gentlemen. Do I learn my lesson? Would you? Nope, I still got hit. So far, every time we have come across that, I have been burned by the flaming horses. But I guess I just can't learn my lesson. But notice the fact there are no more skeletons over here. And we don't have to fight against any of them. And you may be thinking to yourself, hey, since we set those tombstones up, that means that we don't have to deal with them anymore. At which point I would tell you, that's so adorable, you actually think that that gets rid of some of the enemies in the game. And don't feel bad, because I did too. And I thought, hey, by doing this, I was going to get rid of some of the enemies, at least in this one zone. But no. We're going to have to fight them again in the same area in the next chapter. But at least we get some new enemies, including 2 enemies that we have not fought before. And then now we talk to the hanging tree, and what happens?
Thank you so much, Jack. Now that you're here, Halloween Town will be back to its old self. One of the hanged men just told me he heard a woman singing from under the ground.
what's this? A paper plane from Sally.
That's the one she threw out apparently at the beginning of the game.
Down that way lies the underground burial chamber.
The burial chamber?
It's the mausoleum we couldn't
It's
enter
the
into earlier.
largest grave in this area. It's infested with spiders and cobwebs. How romantic.
That's it! That's where Sally must be.
And so that is Chapter 4, Grave Danger, and let's see what score we have here in comparison with the others. Dun dun dun!
Clear time!
Yeah, we got an S,
Combo!
a B,
Damage!
an A,
Exclamation
and an
mark!
A. And
Out!
the reason why I don't have the
Nightmare
previous version of this is because of the fact I accidentally forgot to record it. So anyway, we have beaten Grave Danger, and we're going to look at the
Soul bonus!
figurine that we get, and we'll see you in Chapter 5. Later!